Assalamu alaikum. Let me tell you something most men do not want to hear. Your divorce is not the biggest problem. The man you were before the divorce is. Because divorce did not create all your blind spots. It exposed them. Your ego, your excuses, your emotional weakness, your lack of structure, your distance from Allah. And if you keep protecting the old version of yourself, you are just going to rebuild the same pain in a different form. Before we continue, download the Muslim Men Rebuild Playbook. It's a practical reset for Muslim men going through divorce, fresh out of it, or rebuilding after the collapse. And I put a playbook in the description for the men who wants structure, not just motivation. Now, let's get into it, because most men after divorce waste too much time in the wrong place. They keep replaying what happened. For example, she did this, I did that, she was unfair, I was misunderstood. Nobody knows the full story. Okay, maybe all that is true. But let me ask you something. How long are you going to sit there explaining the collapse instead of rebuilding from it? Because one thing I learned, and I'm still learning, is this. After divorce, your first job is not to defend yourself. Your first job is to audit yourself. That is where it starts. Not blame, not noise, not looking for people to agree with you, not trying to win the story. It starts when you sit down and ask, where was I blind? Where was I arrogant? Where did I avoid hard conversations? Where was I too emotional? Where did I lead badly? Where did I tolerate things I should have addressed? And where did I use ego instead of honesty? That is not self-hatred. That is self-respect. A weak man protects his image. A rebuilding man tells himself the truth, even when it embarrasses him. And yes, that hurts. Good. Some men only become teachable after pain. Some men only wake up after humiliation. Some men only come back to Allah properly when the life they built with ego starts collapsing in front of them. So don't waste that. Seriously, don't waste it. Because whether you had kids or not, whether the divorce shocked you or you saw it coming, whether she was more wrong or you were more wrong, there is still one thing that remains true. Something in you now needs work. That is enough. That is enough to begin. Now, once you stop defending yourself, the next question becomes, who are you building now? Not who do you miss? Not what do you regret? Not what do you wish happened? Who are you becoming? 5 years from now, what kind of man are you trying to be? Think about that properly. Do you want to be calmer, stronger, closer to Allah, healthier, more disciplined, a better father, a better future husband, less needy, less reactive, financially sharper, more stable under pressure? Good. Now, write that man down. Not just in your head. Write it down. Because a lot of men say they want a better life, but they never define the better man required to create it. So, of course, they stay stuck. They want confidence, but they don't build competence. They want respect, but they don't raise their standards. They want peace, but they still live with chaos. They want barakah, but they still move like Allah is an afterthought. It does not work like that. So, define the man. How does he think? How does he speak? How does he handle anger? How does he manage money? How does he train? How does he pray? How does he behave when nobody is watching? How does he show up for his children? How does he carry himself around women? How does he respond when life hits him hard? That is the real work. And once that becomes clear, now your daily decisions become clearer too. Now you know what to cut, what to stop tolerating, what habits have to die. Now you know what standards have to rise. That is rebuilding. Now, let me say something important here. A lot of men think, okay, I need one perfect plan first. No, you do not need a perfect plan. You need direction. Then you need movement. That's it. You test useful things, you learn, you adjust, you repeat. You learn how to manage your money better, how to train properly. You learn how to sleep properly, how to regulate your emotions. You learn how to sit alone without panicking, how to stop reacting to every trigger. You learn how to become present with your kids if you have them. You learn how to become useful again, how to get close to Allah in private. And yes, you will mess things up. Of course, you will. You will waste time, have days where you feel like you went backward. You will fall into old patterns. You will doubt yourself. You will feel behind and wonder whether anything is even changing. That is normal. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are in the process. See, one mistake many men make is this. They think mistakes means I'm still broken. No, mistakes, if you reflect properly, are data. They are feedback. They are tuition fees. So when you mess up, don't just get emotional and spiral. Study it. Ask these useful questions, such as what happened? What triggered me? What did I do wrong? What should I have done instead? What standard did I fail to hold? Then write it down. Even short notes. A few lines is enough because a man who reflects gets sharper. A man who refuses reflection stays childish. And let me clean up something from your raw message because this part matters. Don't try everything. That's too loose. A broken man should not just randomly try everything. The better principle is this. Test many useful things. Keep what builds you. Cut what weakens you. That is the right mindset because rebuilding does not mean becoming reckless. It means becoming teachable. It means being willing to look foolish for a while you learn how to become solid. And while all this is happening, there is another battle going on, the battle with your own mind. Because after divorce, the mind loves two places, the past and the future. The past keeps whispering, what if I saw it earlier? What if I handled that better? What if I wasn't enough? What if that one mistake changed everything? Then the future comes in. What if I never recovered? What if I fail again? What if I never rebuild? What if I'm too late? What if I'm too damaged now? And that is where many men get trapped. Not by reality, by mental noise. So, one thing you must learn is how to return to the present. When the thought comes, notice it. Don't become it. Don't bow to it. Just notice it. Okay, I see you. Then come back. Come back to the moment, to the task, to your breath, to your body, to your salat. Come back to Allah. That is strength. Not shouting, not acting hard, not pretending nothing affects you. Real strength is being able to feel pain without letting it lead your life. That is a different level of a man. A man who can say, yes, this hurts. Yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I am still rebuilding. But no, I am not going to stay here forever. That man has a chance. And this is why faith matters so much. Because if your rebuild is only about money, muscles, status, attention, and the next woman, then your rebuild is too small. Those things matter, yes, but they are not the foundation. The foundation is Allah. This life is temporary. We are travelers here. So, yes, rebuild your finances, rebuild your health. Yes, rebuild your confidence, rebuild your emotional control. But above all that, rebuild your relationship with Allah. Because the real win is not just becoming more attractive, the real win is becoming more obedient, more grounded, more disciplined, more responsible, more truthful, more aware that pain can either wake you up or waste you. Tie your camel, do the work, make tawbah, build the routines, learn the lessons. Keep going, and then trust Allah with the outcome. That is tawakkul. Not laziness, not sitting around waiting for life to change. And of course, not, I'll just see how it goes. No, you move first, then you trust. And one more thing, because a lot of men poison themselves with this after divorce. Stop comparing yourself to other men. You do not know their story. You don't know what they hide, what they survive. You don't know what Allah is testing them with behind closed door. Your job is not to compare your chapter 3 to another man's chapter 20. Your job is to become better than who you were yesterday. That's it. Head down, heart clean, intentions right, actions consistent. So if you are going through divorce or fresh out of it or rebuilding after it, hear me carefully. Your life is not over, but your old excuses must be. The version of you that is hiding behind ego, comfort, distraction, denial, and emotional weakness, that version has to die. Because the man who helped create part of that collapse cannot be the same man leading the rebuild. And maybe that is the mercy behind all this pain. Maybe divorce did not just break your life. Maybe it exposed what Allah wanted you to finally face. So face it. Let it humble you, teach you, clean you out. Let it bring you back to discipline. Let it bring you back to Allah. Because from here, there are only two paths. One man keeps talking about the divorce for the next 5 years. He blames, copes, scrolls, distracts himself. He avoids the mirror. He gets older, but not stronger. The other man takes the hit. He audits himself. He rebuilds his salats. He rebuilds his body, his finances, his standards, his emotional control. He becomes stable, useful, respected. The kind of Muslim man people can trust. One path leads to slow decline. The other leads to dignity. Choose properly. And if this hits something real in you, subscribe. Comment where you agree or disagree. And get the Muslim Man Rebuild Playbook in the description if you are serious about rebuilding with structure.